Hello, everyone. I know it has been so long since I've come on here and done one of these type of videos, but today I want to tell you all every book I've read so far this year and whether or not you should read it. So far this year, I have read 40 books, and let me tell you which ones are actually worth you picking up and reading. So, as I said, I read 40 books this year, and I'm going to use Goodreads to walk through them. If you ever want to know what I'm reading, Goodreads and StoryGraph are the best places to keep up with what I'm currently reading. So, the first book I read this year was Ironheart by Brian Michael Bendis. If you watch the Marvel series, then you're already familiar with Riri's story. I absolutely enjoyed this and think that everyone should read it. We're here for 40 books, so I won't be giving the full details, but I will let you know whether or not I think you should read it. And this one, if you're a comic book person, if you enjoyed the series, then absolutely check it out. So, next, I want to talk about Live Fast, Die Slow 3. So, I started reading this series at the end of last year and I quite enjoyed it. So, this is another one that I think that you should read, especially if you are an urban fiction person, but also if you love a good assassin story, which I appreciate assassins. The idea of them in this book, this series, was actually good. So definitely check it out. And they were quick to get through. All right, next, A Song for You, My Life with Whitney Houston by Robyn Crawford. It surprised me how much I enjoyed this book. I did not anticipate that. I learned so much about Robyn, the complexities of their dynamic, and to get to hear it from Robyn's side was actually quite nice. Random connection, but I actually ended up buying one of the Lego sets I had because I was first introduced to the concept of it, the Concorde, that plane in this book. And I got to researching it and became such a fan of it that I ended up adding that Lego to my collection. So definitely check it out. All right, next up we have Sugar Sugar by Lady Marie. I can't remember much about this book, so I'm gonna say read it if you want to. I do tend to enjoy Lady Marie's stories, so but the fact that I don't remember a lot of details, like it didn't really sit with me. So I'm gonna say for this one, read it if you want. All right, next up we have Legendborn by Tracy Deonn. This was actually a reread for me. And I enjoyed it as much as I had the first time, if not more. So definitely check this one out too. I also read Finding Me by Viola Davis. I actually listened to this one and it was nice because she read it herself. And this is going to differ from what a lot of people said. I'm going to say if you are someone who really wants to know more about Viola Davis's life, absolutely check it out. For me, I would say that like I felt like a lot of the choices, I know her life was hard, but it felt very trauma heavy to me, unnecessarily so. Like the amount of it when obviously that's a huge part of her foundational life when she was young, but I feel like we could have had more time in her adulthood. And so for me, it was rough to get through that. And so for that reason, for me, I'm gonna say no. But a lot of people loved it, so read it if you want. Next, we have Stream Black Books by Nayyirah Waheed. This one was a thicky, but it is a book of thoughts and poetry and renderings and processing. This book was so many things, and it's also a forward call to action. I love this book. I love Nayyirah Waheed. I will say that I don't know if a lot of people will get this book today. I think this is one of those books that's ahead of its time, but right on time if you're willing to tap in and expand your consciousness. So I would say absolutely read this book. All right, next up, this was an author I hadn't read, but this is the Cedars Cherries, the Cheaters series, What Happens at Sea, Book 5, a Sapphic romance, Why Choose Reverse Harem Dark Romance Mystery Suspense by D.O. Robinson. And if you don't follow me on Instagram, you probably did see this in my stories when I was reading this. So follow me there. But this was a messy good time. It was a messy good time. I remember it. I quite enjoyed it. So I would say, yes, check it out. All right, next up, we have what became one of my favorite writers. I discovered Lady Nesha last year, I want to say, and we've been locked in since. Last year, and so far still this year, I think she is, maybe not last year, but definitely think this year, she's my most read author so far this year. If I'm ever in a reading slump, I know that I can pick up a Lady Nesha book and I'm going to get out of it. So I would absolutely say Bambi was a good book. Not my favorite um, series from Lady Nesha, but still a really good series. Absolutely. So I would say definitely check it out. As you can see, I went on to read Bambi too. Yes. Next, we have Heart of a Goon by Jahquel J. So this is a part of a long-standing series now that she does say is coming to a close this year. If you are already tapped into the story of all of these characters, then I would say yes. Goon was not my favorite book, so I wouldn't rush to read it. But like I said, if you're already tapped into the Delgado series and all of these characters, then you've already read this book. All right. Next up, we have The Comet by W.E.B. Du Bois. This one was actually something that I wanted to read and reflect on just earlier this year. And I actually really enjoyed it. One of my goals for this year is to read more Du Bois because I'm someone who, when I was younger, really connected to the idea of the talented 10th of Du Bois's. And the thing is, by the time he died, that wasn't, I don't even think that's something he would have agreed with. And as I've aged and matured, I've moved away from it as well. So I really want to read more of what he was exploring and what he had to say. And so that's what one of my goals is for this year, is to read more Du Bois. So absolutely check it out. It was also different from what you would get from Du Bois. It is a work of fiction. So I definitely think everyone should check it out. All right, next up, we have a short book of like photos and poetry, To My Sweetheart. It was cute. This is a book that had been gifted to me well over a decade ago, and I picked it back up off the shelf. So interesting, very cute. Do you need to read it? No. Can you read it? Absolutely. Okay, next is The Tiger Came to the Mountains by Silvia Moreno-Garcia. And this one, you know what? It surprised me that I enjoyed it as much as I did. It was unique. Was it amazing? No. Was it solid? Absolutely. And so I definitely think that people should check it out. So, yes, You Deserve to Know. Y'all, I listened to this one on audio as well, and it was a good time. It's by Aggie, Blum, Thompson. And you know what? It pulled me in enough. It kept me engaged. So I absolutely say yes. Bambi 3 by Lady Nesha. Read the whole series. Just read the whole series. All right, next up we have Holiday with the Carters, Keeping Up with Them from Lady Nesha. So absolutely, yes, read it. I think my favorite book to this day by Lady Nesha is still Lucid Dreams. That was the first book I picked up from her. And so I think that will just always be my favorite. But this series is really good too. Here We Go Again by Lady Nesha. This one I actually really did enjoy. So yes, this one was really good. So check it out. This was my first Colleen Hoover read, Finding Perfect. And you know what? It made me want to pick up more of her books. I know there might be some controversy there. I don't actually know what that controversy is. And because I want to read more of her books, I think I'm having willful ignorance right now. So don't hold it against me. But I did enjoy the book. All right, next up, we have Rebel by Beverly Jenkins. Beverly Jenkins is who Beverly Jenkins is because her books are so great, right? I really don't like this concept that romance novels are these like simple stories. Absolutely not. With Beverly Jenkins, you're going to get historical fiction. You're going to learn some stuff along the way. You're going to have characters that are going to pull you in. Listen, even if I start off reading a Beverly Jenkins book and I'm like, this is not my favorite from her, by the time the book is done, I love it. So absolutely read this book and anything she has written. That's my plan. Okay, Emotionally Scarred. I told y'all, Lady Nesha has been on my reading list this year. Okay, she's been in the rotation. Anytime I finish something and it was so good that I'm like, oh, what will I read next? And I can't figure out what reading mood I'm in. I pick up a Lady Nesha and I take it from there. But Emotionally Scarred was really good. I did enjoy this one. So yeah, check this one out as well. We have Bloodmarked by Tracy Deonn. This series for me, because I'm in the midst of reading the third one, and I can't figure out exactly how I feel about it. Is it good? Yes. Should you read it? Yes. But the writing style for me evolves in a way, and what she's pulling in I'm not sure. I have to finish it to finish that thought and really see how I feel about it. But I'm gonna say yes, I do not regret continuing the series. So read it. Twilight by Stephanie Meyer was a reread for me as well. I was actually building the Lego Twilight house, so I wanted to get back into this. Twilight is fine. If you're someone who loves the movies, then the series will do you well. The thing for me with the books, with my hesitation that you may hear in my voice, is that Bella, ugh, her pining for Edward can sometimes be a bit frustrating, but overall, the book was good. It's an enjoyable time. You get the layout. I don't think Stephanie Meyer is my one of my favorite writers. I don't necessarily love her writing style, but I do like the concept of the story, and I really do enjoy the movies. So, yeah, you can read it for sure. All right, next up we have The Wicked and the Divine. This is by Kieran Gillen. This is actually another comic, a compilation of the first, I'm not sure how many of the comics are in here. Maybe the first 10 of 12. I don't remember. But I love The Wicked and the Divine. I wanted to pick this back up to see if I loved it as much as I did when I read it a long time ago. And I am making my way through and quite enjoying it. Book one for sure. So definitely check this one out. All right, next up, we have A Singular Perspective, Kari's View by Shay B. Bryce. Absolutely read this book. It was phenomenal. I really was invested in the characters, just their dynamics, the connections between the cousins, all of the like events they had to go through, the trauma, the background. I really love the side characters, like even when the parents popped in and had their moments, the grandparents. But for me, the characters and just their development and wanting to see their story through, absolutely read this one. Fun fact, I wrote it. All right. Next, we have Seeing Red by Sean. This one was good. It was my second read from Sean. I did find that I felt like this one dragged a little bit more than the first one. I felt like I was really invested in that one immediately, but this one was still a good time. So definitely check it out. Continuing with The Wicked and Divine Book 2. This one was a little abstract. They were trying to do some things that I was like, didn't always agree with, but it didn't stop me from reading this series. So I would definitely say, yes, check it out. All right, so I finally made it through The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue. Whew. Um, yeah, I've been trying to read this book for years. And then I finally finished it by reading it physically. And then also, when I wasn't reading, when I was doing other things, I would listen to it on audio. So that helped me continue to progress with the book. It was cool. I do think it was overhyped, and I don't think you need to read it. But read it if you want, as always. All right, Sky Full of Elephants by Sabo Campbell. Y'all, listen to me hard. This is the best book I've read this year. I haven't read a book that has topped it yet. Will I? Maybe. But this was a phenomenal book. I really enjoyed the concept of figuring out Blackness and identity without whiteness and all of just the multiple emotions they're in and the journey that they had to go on. I've seen some pushback for this book. The arguments are valid, but I still really enjoyed it. I'm actually on a book buying ban this year, so I have not purchased any books this year, but this is the one book I've read this year that's already in my cart, so that January 1st, 2027, when I hit purchase on the books that I did not purchase this year. Right now, this is the one book I've read so far that has made it onto that list. So, yeah, read it absolutely. Next up, we have Four Aids and a Funeral by Farida Abike Iyemide. And there's also a co-writer on this. It is Adiba Jayidar. This one, I want y'all to read it because I want y'all to read more books that have Islamic representation because I want people to learn more about the faith organically for themselves. It was cute. It was a cute little story. I enjoyed it. And unfortunately, do I think you need to rush out and read it? I don't. But I think you can read it and you won't be mad. Next, we have Part 2 by Nina. This one took me a long time to get through, which is surprising. Sometimes it does take me a little while to like get into Nina's stories. And then once I'm finally in, I'm like, yeah. And she always has these deep characters with emotional depth and complexity. And the emotional aspect is going to pull you in and see you through. This one, not so much for me. Not so much for me. So I actually think if you're going to read Nina's catalog, I wouldn't rush to read this one. That's just me. You can read it, but I don't necessarily recommend it. All right, next we have The Wicked and the Divine, Volume 3. This one was still good. I kept going. I'm enjoying the series. I do think the twists and the turns that it's taking, eh, meh, but I am enjoying it. So yes, you can read it. All right, next we have The Ballad of Black Tom by Victor Lavelle. I had heard so much about this book that I was like, I have to read it. And I'm not mad at it. I'm a little mad at the ending, but I'm not mad at the book. I actually quite enjoyed it. I love the concept of it. I love what it was attempting to do. So, do I think that you should read it? Yes, I do. All right, continuing The Wicked and the Divine. Just yes, y'all. Just yes. If you're into a comic series that really delves into and plays with the concept of gods returning after X number of years, embodying humans who become these mega stars for a shortened period of time, and what does that mean for them and for society at large? If that sounds like a good time to you, then you will enjoy the series. All right, next we have Lilith by Alexandria House. I really wanted to read another like assassin type series or assassin type book. I didn't love it. I didn't love it. The issue for me with this series is that there was such an instant connection between the two main characters, but for me, there was no justification. There was nothing that really demonstrated why that existed. It just kept progressing. And so for me, it was a disconnect. So I couldn't connect with those characters the way that the author intended. But I wasn't mad at it. You could read it and you'd probably have a good time. But for me, it's not one I would really recommend. So this one I got for the bookmarks. It is Don't Talk to Me While I'm Reading. And it gives you a history of like books and literature as you read it. And for every page, you get to tear out a different bookmark. It's cute. Do you need it? Absolutely not. All right, next we have Everything and Nothing, The Dorothy Dandridge Tragedy by Dorothy Dandridge. I really want to recommend you all read this because I feel like people don't know that this book exists. I didn't know it existed for a really long time, but I am someone who really appreciates the life of Dorothy Dandridge and what she did during her time, especially for the progression of Black women in film and media. And so for that aspect of it, getting the story from her side, enjoyable, yes. I didn't love the book. I actually think that certain aspects of her life that she shared, while they made sense, they could have been explored more. And I don't know if it's because she passed before the book can be finalized or the situation they're in. I think that more people should know about her. So yes, read the book, but I didn't love it. So I don't think you have to. All right, next we have King River by Lolita Tatamy. This one I did really enjoy. So I started reading it last year and somehow other books just got in the way of it. I picked it back up this year, finished it, and it was a good book. Like I would read other books from the author. I like historical fiction is one of my favorite genres. And so I really liked learning about these women throughout time and their stories and how it all connected. And so I definitely think that you all should pick it up and check it out. Next, we continue with The Wicked and the Divine. As I said, yes, read it. It is taking a darker turn. We are learning about the darkness and whether or not that's a real thing and what to do about it if it is a real thing. So, yeah, definitely continue reading. All right, I continued with the Twilight series. So I read New Moon by Stephanie Meyer. This one was good. This is the one where if you've seen the movies, you know they go to Italia, they go to Italy, because Edward believes that Bella had jumped from a cliff in an attempt to no longer be alive. And they go to try to rescue him. But y'all, this is the one. This book right here is the reason why I have never finished this series. And reading it again reminded me of why I never made it beyond this book. There's so much pining for Edward in this book that I'm like, girl, I get it. But it makes the book harder to read. What I told myself this time when finishing this book is that they're back together now. So we should not have that same level of pining for Edward after this. So I'm really going to try to finish the series this year because I've had this series for a long time. I've had these books for a very long time, over a decade on my shelves. And so I want to finish the series. So yeah, but you can read it. Just know that Bella gonna be pining, and if that frustrates you, the way it frustrates me, it might be a little challenging at times. But yeah, those were the books, the 40 books that I've read so far this year. These were my thoughts. Let me know what you've been reading in the comments. Let me know what are some really good books that have come out this year that I should check out. I haven't really been keeping track the way that I usually do with what's coming, mainly because I've been on the push of marketing and promoting my own book and securing events for that. And so my focus has been on my own book. So, A Singular Perspective, Kari's View by me. If you have not read it, do check it out. The initial reviews are very good. I poured my heart and soul into it, and I think that comes across. Listen, I would not give you all bad advice. So if you've been following me and you like my book recommendations, trust me and hear me when I tell you, read this book. Read this book. It's so good. And I would love to know your thoughts on it. Like nothing could make me happier. So definitely check it out and then come back and tell me what you thought. But that's what I wanted to share, y'all. That's what I've been reading. Not sure when I'll be back, but I will be back. Um, and if you want to keep up with just what's going on with me more frequently than what you see here on YouTube, you can always follow me on TikTok or Instagram. But I'm these days more often active on TikTok. And so you can find me at Miss Malcolm Hughes. As always, I appreciate you all for listening. I am Shay B. Bryce, author of A Singular Perspective, Kari's View, and I am signing off.